Welcome to the Depth Dive, the show where we take a heap of research and basically turn it into strategy you can actually use. Today, we are jumping right in, headfirst really, into the new marketing reality. We're looking at the AI marketing stack for 2025, how things like efficiency, hyper-personalization, and keeping that human touch are all coming together right now.
Yeah, and for anyone listening who's a strategist, a marketer, trying to figure out what's next, this deep dive is kind of your shortcut. We're seeing AI move from being this interesting concept in a trend report to, well, a truly indispensable partner. We're going to unpack how marketers are really using it, what benefits they're actually seeing, and also tackle those tricky ethical and, practical challenges, the ones that get in the way of really scaling this stuff.
It's amazing how fast the whole story has changed. Just a couple of years back, we were asking if AI was useful. Now, the question is more like, how deep are you integrating it? I mean, just look at the snapshot we pulled from the Sprout Social Pulse survey. Get this, 71% of social marketers, they've already brought AI or automation into their main workflows.
71%, that's nearly three-quarters. And the key thing, I think, is the payoff they're seeing and how quickly. 82% of those using it say they're getting positive results. So this isn't just about, tiny improvements. It's fundamentally changing how productive people can be.
Right. That 82% figure, that really jumps out. It tells you AI isn't just about saving a bit of cash, it's about doing better work. It's completely changing the time equation for marketers, isn't it? It's less about replacement, more about, well, collaboration. Enhancing what we do, letting humans focus on the really creative high-level stuff.
Exactly. It means all those friction points, the things that used to just eat up valuable time, they're being smoothed out. Think about manual reporting, scheduling content, even just getting a first draft down. A lot of that can now be, well, handed off to the machine.
Okay, let's really get into that. What does this collaboration actually feel like for marketers on the ground, the ones using these tools every day? What's the general vibe in the industry, and what are the hard numbers telling us about how big this shift really is?
Well, the scale of the shift is.
Yeah.
It's fundamental. We've got stats that show AI is pretty much essential now in marketing. For instance, research shows, and this is pretty stunning, 88% of marketers say they use AI in their day-to-day roles.
88%. Wow. So that's almost everybody, from small teams maybe using ChatGPT for drafts, all the way up to huge companies building these complex machine learning models.
Exactly. And the predictions for the near future, they just hammer this home. AI isn't some passing trend. It's being built into the very foundation of business strategy now. The percentage of businesses using AI in marketing, which was around 60% back in 2020.
Which felt pretty high even then.
Right. Well, it's predicted to jump to over 90% by 2025. And this isn't just about buying some software. It's a massive financial bet, too. We're seeing forecasts the AI-driven ad spend. It's set to triple, from around $15 billion to $45 billion by 2025. That kind of money. That signals total buy-in from the top down.
And whenever you have that much money pouring in, that much rapid change, it creates a really interesting mood within the profession, doesn't it? When you look at how marketers are feeling, there's clearly a lot of excitement, but there's also this kind of nervousness underneath it all.
You definitely see the optimism. Like 69% of marketing pros, they say they feel genuinely excited about what AI can do. And only a tiny fraction, like 1%, feel really negative about where the industry's headed. So overall, people see it as a tool for growth, for advancement.
But okay, if everyone's so excited, we have to talk about that nervousness. That's where it gets really interesting. Like you said, a pretty big group, 32%. So almost a third of social media marketers, according to that Sprout Social data, they're actually worried about being replaced because they think their specific skills might become, well, obsolete.
It's nearly 1 in 3 people feeling directly challenged by that $45 billion investment we just talked about. And, how do you square that? That huge investment with this very real human anxiety. If AI is supposed to enhance roles, why do so many people see it as a threat to their jobs?
I think it probably points to the big question mark around what the new human role actually looks like, right? If a machine can spit out a campaign brief or a whole week's worth of social content in minutes, then the human value has to shift. It becomes about the oversight, the refinement, the ethics, being the strategist, not just the doer. And maybe not everyone feels ready for that shift.
I think that's exactly right. And it lines up perfectly with what we're seeing in terms of who's actually implementing this stuff. The data shows 56% of companies are actively implementing AI right now. They're using it. But that leaves a big chunk, 44%, who who are still kind of watching from the sidelines. They're waiting for more proven, maybe more stable solutions. And perhaps crucially, waiting until their teams are properly trained up before they dive in fully.
Yeah, the difference between those two groups, it feels like it might be about their tolerance for imperfection. The ones jumping in are experimenting, right? They're okay with the occasional weird output, the hallucination, because they're getting the speed benefits now.
While the others are waiting for AI to be this perfectly smooth, totally risk-free thing,
Yeah.
which, let's be honest, might take a while.
And even among the ones implementing, there's a split. About 32% of marketing orgs have fully implemented AI. It's baked into lots of different parts of their workflow. But the majority, 43%, are still in that really important experimental phase.
Right? They're figuring out what works best for them, how to train people, where the biggest bang for their buck is before they roll it out everywhere.
Maybe we should quickly define what we mean by AI in marketing here, just so everyone's on the same page. It's not just, chatbots.
Good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're talking about using these intelligent tools to streamline tasks, definitely, but also to boost brainstorming, help with writing, nail personalization, and really importantly, using machine learning for complex data analysis, for making decisions based on data, not just gut feeling. It goes way beyond simple automation. It touches pretty much everything marketing does.
Okay, so moving past the big numbers, the real day-to-day value people seem to be getting from AI right now is workflow efficiency. It's definitely automating those time-sucking, repetitive jobs, which in theory frees people up for the creative strategy stuff, the things machines can't really do.
And we have some really concrete examples of this.
Where?
Like the internal team at Sprout Social. They reported saving 72 hours every quarter just on content performance reporting.
72 hours? That's what, nearly 2 full work weeks a year for just one team? Imagine getting that time back. What would a strategist do with it?
Exactly. They wouldn't be stuck pulling numbers from spreadsheets. They'd be maybe thinking about new partnerships, analyzing competitors, or working on those big, ambitious, creative ideas.
The sources also mentioned automating stuff like creating image alt text for social media, which, let's face it, is important for accessibility, but super tedious.
And that alone apparently saves hours every single week. It's these small efficiencies adding up,
Yeah.
improving productivity and making content better, more accessible.
So that's the efficiency bucket. What about the earlier stages, content ideas and research?
Yeah, AI acts like a massive accelerator there. For finding ideas, it can analyze huge amounts of data, audience preferences, keywords, what's trending way faster than any human could. And it suggests topics based on that data. It's not just guessing, it's spotting like actual gaps or opportunities in the market.
And the research side, that's a huge time saver too, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. These tools are like super-powered research assistants. They can gather competitor info, figure out what your audience's main problems are, even summarize long reports or articles, so you just get the key takeaways.
I like the practical example in the research. Instead of spending, say, half a day reading a dozen different marketing trends for 2025 reports.
Right. You could potentially use something like ChatGPT, feed it those reports, and ask it to give you a synthesized summary. What are the key social media trends for 2025 with stats? Boom. Hours saved right there.
And that speed obviously carries over into actually creating the content and repurposing it. There was a global survey in 2024 that found 42% of marketers use AI daily or weekly for writing or generating stuff. First drafts of blogs, scripts, social captions, you name it.
Yeah, tools like Jasper, Writesonic, and even built-in features like Sprout Socials generated by AI Assist are just making that whole process much, much faster.
It's not just speed, though, is it? The sources mention consistency, too.
That's a big one. You can feed the AI your style guide, examples of your best content, and it helps maintain a consistent brand voice across everything, which is huge if you're a big company with lots of different teams creating content, or even just for bringing new team members up to speed faster. Gives them guardrails.
And it helps squeeze more value out of content you already have through smarter repurposing.
Right. AI can look at how your past content performed, maybe find patterns you missed, and suggest which pieces are worth turning into something new. Like maybe that detailed blog post on budgeting did surprisingly well last year. The AI might suggest turning it into an infographic or a series of short videos for, say, TikTok, maximizing your winners.
We can't forget the SEO piece either. That seems deeply integrated now.
Yeah, AI optimization features are pretty standard, suggesting keywords based on what competitors are doing, flagging readability issues, generating meta descriptions and titles that are tuned for search intent.
And it seems the quality is getting there. The research mentioned AI-generated content takes about 2 to 3 months to start ranking in search results.
which is pretty similar to how long it takes for good human-written content. The difference is just the sheer speed and scale you can produce those initial drafts at.
Okay, so content's created. What about getting it out there? Distribution and maintenance.
AI helps there too. For distribution, it analyzes when and where your audience is most active. Looks at platform use, time zones, peak engagement times. A lot of social platforms, Sprout Social included, use AI to recommend the absolute best times to post on each channel. So you're hitting the right people at the right moment, maximizing your reach.
And maintenance. That's something people probably don't think about enough, but it's critical.
Super critical. AI can run automated audits of your whole content library, finding outdated info, broken links, stuff that's just not performing anymore. It stops that content decay, keeps everything fresh and trustworthy without someone having to manually check hundreds of old posts.
Which ties back to trust, right? A broken link or outdated advice immediately undermines all the effort you put into personalization.
Absolutely. The machine keeps things tidy, so the human can focus on the big picture.
And really, all this efficiency, all this content generation,
Yeah.
it's ultimately pointing towards one big strategic goal, isn't it? Hyper-personalization. The sources are really clear on this. Personalization isn't a nice to have anymore. It's just expected.
Totally. Get this. 71% of consumers now expect personalized interactions.
Yeah.
And 76%, they actually get frustrated if they don't get it.
So customers are demanding it. And businesses that deliver, they're seeing real results.
Massive results, especially in sectors like finance. They're seeing like 15–20% increases in revenue from advanced personalization. And on the flip side, a 10–30% drop in customer acquisition costs.
Yeah.
Because when you talk directly to someone's needs, converting them just becomes easier, smoother.
And AI is what makes this possible at scale across the entire customer journey. Like, think about dynamic websites. An e-commerce site doesn't just show everyone the same homepage anymore.
Right. It adapts in real time, shows you offers based on what you just looked at, or maybe even resorts product categories based on your behavior right now.
That feels like the step up from basic personalization to hyper-specific stuff, like upselling.
Exactly. AI isn't just suggesting a product because you fit a broad demographic like women aged 30–40 who bought shoes recently. It's looking at your specific browsing history, what other people with similar shopping baskets bought, maybe even real-time stock levels, to suggest something highly relevant in that moment.
And we know it works. Even simple things like personalized email subject lines. They get open 26% more often. Targeting works.
And crucially, AI is changing the whole customer experience, the CX, by adding a kind of digital empathy to interactions that sometimes felt really cold.
How does that work? Like with chatbots?
Yeah, especially with the newer chatbots. They're trained on so much data, they can detect not just keywords, but things like emotion, the customer's intent, sentiment, even how much effort the customer sees to be putting in. The goal is to recognize frustration early and try to head it off, making the whole interaction feel, well, more human-like.
That's fascinating, especially when you see the data on what customers value. Apparently, 5.2% of customers really value empathy from an agent, compared to only 2.7% who prioritize low wait times.
Right. It tells you speed isn't everything. That feeling of being understood, even if it's an AI recognizing your tone, that seems to matter more.
However, there's still that big caveat, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. The vast majority, 90% of people, still say they'd rather talk to a human customer service rep than a chatbot, especially for complex stuff or anything emotional.
And that preference highlights a really interesting generational split that marketers need to be aware of.
Definitely. Like 66% of Gen Z, they're actually interested in AI helping them navigate a website or use a product. They're comfortable with it. But flip that around. 72% of people over 65 apparently have negative feelings about companies using AI in customer experience.
So you can't just roll out an AI-first strategy for everyone. You really have to think about who your audience is and what they prefer. Pushing AI too hard on an older demographic could backfire badly.
And this whole idea of hyper-personalization, it's not just digital, it's even shaping physical products now. Which brings us to that really cool case study on payment cards.
Right. Card companies are moving way beyond just putting your name on a piece of plastic. They're turning cards into these personal statements, using different materials, wood, metal, eco-friendly plastics, customizing the texture, the color, the images, even the scent, apparently.
Yeah. The card itself becomes this little token that reinforces the brand relationship every time you use it. It stands out.
And AI is actually helping make this kind of complex physical design accessible.
That's the amazing part. There's this tool, G+D's Convigo Card Designer. It uses generative AI, So a user can just type in a text prompt like a fluffy unicorn in space or minimalist city skyline at sunset.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And the AI generates original artwork for their card. It basically lets anyone co-create a design that feels unique to them. The human brings the idea. The machine handles the complex rendering. It connects emotion to the physical object.
And the tech behind making these unique cards quickly, that's changing too.
Yeah, it's called drop-on-demand printing, or DoD. Traditionally, making lots of cards and personalizing them were two slow, separate steps.
Which created bottlenecks, right?
Exactly. DoD basically combines them. It allows for mass customization at the speed of mass production. So you can get these highly individualized cards out quickly. As one expert put it, this level of hyper-personalization makes a more intense customer relationship.
Yeah.
The brand is literally reflecting the customer's identity back at them.
Okay, so none of this, the speed, the scale, the personalization, none of it happens without a really solid data engine running underneath it all. Marketers today are just swimming in data, right? Social media signals, CRM data, purchase history. It's overwhelming.
It really is. And AI's main job here is to actually make sense of it all, to pull out meaningful insights from that flood of information.
So thinking about data analysis efficiency, things like AI assist features and analytics tools.
Yeah, those are becoming key. They can quickly flag important stuff like, hey, sentiment about your brand just spiked, or engagement on this topic is suddenly taking off. It saves analysts hours of digging through dashboards manually, allows the team to react much faster. It's why, 41% of marketers are now using AI tools specifically for data analysis.
And the listening tools, they're monitoring conversations almost in real time, right? Detecting those sentiment shifts instantly.
Exactly. So the brand can jump in quickly. Maybe address a customer complaint before it blows up, or double down on a campaign that's suddenly going viral. It's about agility.
And it's not just looking backward at data, is it? It's about predicting the future, too.
Predictive analytics, yeah. That's a huge area. AI models look at historical patterns, external factors, and try to forecast what's coming next. Market trends, shifts in customer behavior, even predicting how well a new product might do.
Which lets marketers be proactive, right? Adjusting ad targeting, changing inventory, tweaking messaging before a trend fully hits, instead of always playing catch-up. Moves it from guesswork to, well, informed foresight.
So what does this all actually require? For the tech folks and strategists listening, you can't do any of this cool stuff at scale without a really robust data AI stack. The right infrastructure is critical.
Right. You can have the best AI ideas in the world, but if your tech can't handle it, you're stuck.
Exactly. You need a modern setup. Key parts. Automated data pipelines are essential, making sure the data feeding the AI is clean, up-to-date, and easy to access.
Because if you're trying to personalize based on old or messy data,
It's garbage in, garbage out. Your fancy personalized campaign fails, you waste money, and you probably annoy the customer.
makes sense. And these systems need serious storage and processing power, too.
Oh, yeah. You need cloud databases that can scale to handle massive amounts of data, and specialized layers for things like natural language processing, machine learning. That stuff takes serious compute power.
What are the trends in how these stacks are being built?
The big focus seems to be on agility and modularity, building things in a flexible way, often using low-code tools, so teams can add new AI features or swap components out quickly without having to rebuild everything from scratch every time.
The sources mention some specific tech people are using, like Next.js for flexible front ends, Neon Database for scalable storage, Together AI for certain APIs.
Right, those kinds of tools are popular because they're built for speed and handling huge data sets with low latency, which you absolutely need if you're trying to do personalization in real time.
So the ultimate goal of all this tech infrastructure is what?
It's pretty straightforward, really. It's all about enabling that hyper-personalization, but at a massive scale.
Yeah.
Using AI algorithms to crunch through those huge, clean data sets, pull out insights fast, and automate decisions that used to take humans ages. It's the plumbing that makes 2025-style marketing possible.
Okay, so the power is obvious. The efficiency, the personalization, it's impressive. But the sources are also really careful to stress that AI isn't magic. It needs humans. It needs critical thinking, refinement, creativity, and maybe most importantly, ethics.
Absolutely crucial point. And there are limitations marketers need to be really aware of. Like, because AI learns from existing public data, its ideas can sometimes be, well, a bit basic. A bit unoriginal.
If everyone's asking the same AI the same question.
You risk getting very similar, very bland campaign ideas back, content that doesn't really stand out or capture your unique brand voice.
So the human role becomes less about generating the initial idea maybe, and more about refining it, adding that distinctiveness.
Exactly. The human needs to shape the tone, the style, the narrative. Make sure it actually connects with the audience emotionally. You provide the creative spark, the brand filter. The AI is more like an incredibly fast assistant for execution.
We also have to talk about the practical concerns, accuracy, quality.
Big ones. 31% of marketers say they're worried about the quality of AI output. And the rule has to be, nothing AI generates goes live without human review. Checking for accuracy, originality, making sure it fits the brand. The human is the final gatekeeper for quality.
And then there's the huge topic of data privacy and security, probably the make or break issue for sustainable AI marketing.
Totally. AI needs vast amounts of data to work well, which immediately brings up big compliance questions.
Yeah.
GDPR, CCPA,
Yeah.
all those regulations.
Oh, what's the guidance there?
It comes down to consent and transparency. You have to get clear user consent for using their data. And you need to work with AI tools that take data privacy seriously. Encryption, clear policies, maybe keeping data within certain regions.
That's not just a legal thing, is it? It's about trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it really requires a company-wide policy on AI use. How data is handled, secured, processed. Everyone needs to be on the same page.
Then there's the bias issue. That's a tricky one.
Very tricky. AI models learn from the data they're trained on. If that data reflects existing societal biases, well, the AI will reproduce them, which could lead to discriminatory ad targeting or content that unintentionally excludes certain groups.
So how do marketers address that?
It starts with choosing your tools carefully, looking for vendors who are transparent about how their models are trained, hopefully on diverse data sets, and then critically auditing your output. Constantly checking to make sure your AI-powered campaigns are fair and inclusive. It shifts some human effort from creation to auditing and careful prompt design.
But what about plagiarism or intellectual property? Is that a big worry?
It's definitely a concern. Are the AI's outputs truly original? Whose IP is it based on? The advice seems to be, use transparent tools, understand their limitations, and be prepared to disclose when you're using AI, especially for customer-facing content. Honesty helps maintain trust.
Okay, so lots to consider ethically and operationally, but underpinning all of this is training, or the lack of it.
Yeah, this is a really stark finding. A massive operational hurdle right now is that people just haven't been trained. 70%. 70% of marketers say their employer doesn't provide any training on generative AI tools.
Even though over half of them, 54%, say that training is important for actually using it in their jobs.
Exactly. So companies are pouring billions into the technology, but they're not investing enough in teaching their people how to use it effectively, safely, ethically.
Yeah.
Until that changes, they're not going to get the full value.
All right, so for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I get the potential, I see the pitfalls, how do I actually build a strategy around this? The sources offer a pretty clear roadmap.
Yeah, it's a practical, phased approach. Step one is pretty fundamental. Define your objectives.
Yeah.
You need to be crystal clear on why you're bringing AI in. Is it just to automate some repetitive tasks? Is it to get way better at keyword targeting? Or is the big goal to scale personalization across your entire customer base?
Having that clear goal gives you something to measure against, right? To see if it's actually working.
Exactly. Then step two, assess your capabilities. Look honestly at your current resources, your team's strengths and weaknesses. Like if your team is amazing at creative ideas but really struggles to personalize content at scale, well, AI looks like a great fit for that second problem.
And this is where talking to your team is crucial, yeah? Getting their feedback on where they think AI could help most.
Definitely. Tap into that internal knowledge. They know the daily pain points.
Okay, step 3. Choose the right tools. This seems complex.
It can be. You need to think about the scope. Do you need a general AI like a big language model or something very specific like an AI just for writing email subject lines? Then there's budget, obviously. How easily does it plug into the tech you already use? And tying back to the training issue, how much expertise does your team need to actually use it effectively? Some tools are simple, others have a really steep learning curve.
Step 4. Test and analyze the data. This feels like the human oversight part again.
It is. Remember, AI output isn't perfect. It can be biased, it can hallucinate, or just make stuff up. So you absolutely have to test it. Regularly collect data on how the AI is performing, analyze it, look for those biases or errors, and correct them. Don't just set it and forget it.
And finally, step 5. Optimize the strategy.
Right. Set those benchmarks based on your initial objectives, time saved, conversion lift, whatever it is. Measure your progress and keep getting feedback from your employees, maybe through regular surveys. How are they using the AI now? What's working? What's frustrating? Where do they need more support or training? It's a continuous loop.
There is also that specific blueprint mentioned, the content agent model. That sounded like a really practical way AI could build a content strategy fast.
Yeah, it breaks down how an AI tool, acting sort of autonomously, could automate key strategy steps.
Yeah.
It starts with analyzing your website, finding content gaps, seeing what's underperforming. Then, based on your existing content, it helps define a personalized company description and generates a consistent AI brand voice.
So it sets the foundation, then what?
Then it uses its algorithms to identify your core content pillars, the big themes that resonate most with your audience and support your business goals. It pulls together deep insights about your target audience, so you know who you're talking to on a much more detailed level.
And the final output is?
Based on all that analysis, the audience insights, the SEO research, the content gaps it generates, tailored SEO-informed content ideas ready to slot into your calendar. The idea is it takes you from a blank slate to a planned, data-driven content calendar way faster than doing it manually, accelerating that whole strategic planning process. #outro.
Okay, so wrapping things up for 2025, it really feels like the story is this convergence, doesn't it? AI's efficiency meeting human creativity. Success seems to hinge on finding that balance, getting the speed and scale benefits of AI, but without losing genuine human connection or messing up on the ethics and data side.
I think that's exactly it. And the key focus areas for brands? The advice seems to be start small. Experiment with specific tasks where the risk is low. Always keep that balance. Human creativity and strategic thinking need to stay at the core. Prioritize data privacy like your brand depends on it, because it probably does. And just stay curious. Keep learning about the new tools and trends as they emerge.
And thinking about that bigger picture connection. You know, AI can churn out hundreds of product descriptions in minutes. That's incredible efficiency.
Right. So the human role completely shifts. It's not about writing those descriptions anymore. It's about defining the value, defining the emotion, defining the story that description needs to tell. You define the why. The machine handles the how.
The human becomes the guardian of taste, of accuracy, of brand soul, maybe.
Well put. The machine is your partner for speed and scale. It's not replacing your judgment or your strategic brain.
So what does this all really mean for everyone listening? The core challenge isn't just using AI. It's using it powerfully while still holding on to that crucial audience trust.
And that leads to the real strategic dilemma, doesn't it? We know people often prefer a human for customer service, especially for tricky issues. But at the same time, those same customers expect that deep, real-time personalization across everything else personalization that really only AI can deliver at scale.
That really is the tightrope walk for the next 5 years, isn't it? How do you decide moving forward which customer moments absolutely need that human touch, that empathy, that nuance, and which interactions are actually better served by the speed, consistency, and scale of the machine?
Nailing that balance, that feels like it's going to separate the winners from the losers. It's the big question to chew on.